We are very happy, Dr. Audrin, that you can actually be able to join us here. We call it the House of Sport, the Sport Commission. Last year, Dr. Audrin and Mr. Katamba, my colleagues, that worked very well for a number of years. We have got staff of the commission, and also we do have also umbrella bodies. Umbrella bodies, those are bigger structures of sport in the country. They comprise of a lot of sports codes that are actually assigned to them. We've got also national sports code, because we've classified our sports in this country into categories. National sports code, we've got football, netball, and we've got rugby. This is part and parcel of the organizational structure, but it's a proposed organizational structure, but we've got the current organizational structure. We are going to inform you, ED, what's currently happening is since from 2007, there was no growth in terms of the structure of the organization. However, this is a vision, because if you want a vision, we need to grow. So as such, this is part and parcel of the organizational structure, that we can be able to have our presence throughout the entire country, because the Sport Commission is not a venue sports commission. That's why it started the way Namibia Sports Commission. And the presence of the Sport Commission must be felt, because people outside the region are not getting the same service as required. But currently we are using those volunteers just to be able to serve. We know it's a big challenge in terms of finance to be able to fund this type of structure, but the organization itself, through our creation of our vision and our mission, we can be able to generate resources if ever we are capacitated to so that we can be able to grow. One of our core functions, which most of the federations are in here, to render financial and technical support, which we may say, indeed, we are failing in the part of financial support, because the budget, I believe you have seen what is allocated to the ministry itself and what goes to the Directorate of Sport really is a drop in an ocean, which means that core function, as much as part and parcel that is a core function of us, we are failing on financial aspect to support our federation. At the same time, we might not be able to provide a technical, because the staff complement cannot do it, and you need money for you to be able to ensure that we can be able to serve all your affiliates. Okay, we also provide day-to-day administration. There we are very effective. We know it's so easy that we can be able to provide day-to-day administration and operation of the organization. Aspect of governance, I'm very happy that that part is one of the core area that we are really focusing for these 2 years. Governance in terms of whereby all our federations now, we have changed the framework of the constitutions. So they have to align the Sports Act and also technical support, recruitment of coaches, but we don't necessarily recruit coaches. I think what we do here, we facilitate the process, especially if we with external coaches and external expatriates that need to come to the country, because they need to apply through our process for us to do some recommendations, and also the aspect of visa applications. Okay, this is a composition of the board. Our board members, Audrin Mathe being the chairperson. We call them commissioners, but they are board members. 6 of them they are based in Windhoek, and 3 of them they are currently based out of Windhoek, which is at least something that positive, because we also need their presence of commissioners, not only in Windhoek, but they need to be out of Windhoek. These are our affiliates now. As much as we coordinate all sport activities, but we've got members who are in good steady, and most of these are our affiliates who are registered with us. We can call it Netball Namibia, Archery Association, Athletics, Badminton, Namibia Basketball, Namibia Bowling, Boxing, Canoeing, Chess, Cricket, Cycling, Darts, the name goes on there. These are some of the, okay, the umbrella bodies. Okay, first one, the corner here, 49 up to 53, 9 active federations. At this stage now, they're not 9 active, and we wait up to the end of the year before we deregister them, because we do not know even their physical addresses. There's no communication coming out from them, so that's why we put this group. So the umbrella bodies, like Namibia School Sport Union, and the School Sport Union, they've got 10 codes also. Yeah, so because we group a lot of codes under them, then they are actually quite, I think that we got 12 of them, yes, various sports codes in schools. Tertiary institution, this is for the university. And the Disability Sport Namibia, we've got also Special Olympics being part and parcel, I think, at the micro, the SG, the one who represents Disability Sport Namibia. This is where Namibia is doing very well at the Olympics. We've got this Anania Shikongo that is very well known, and Johanna Benson's group that is the coach, and currently the Secretary General. So it means they've got all those various types of sports codes that are also falling under them. Now we come to various sports codes that we do have in our country. These various sports codes, we classified our sports code into four categories. We got national, priority, development, and the fourth category is open pool. We did this one from 2018. It's a 4-year cycle. They need to prove themselves because come 2022, right? 2022 again we do an evaluation to see if where you qualify. So national sports code like soccer, netball, and rugby. Those are our 3 national sports codes. To be a national sports code, your presence must be felt in all the regions of the country. That's why rugby, they are now working around the clock. I'm very happy the CEO of rugby. I know you might be in 8 regions so far. I know your president, they are pushing that rugby must be in Karas, rugby must be in Kunene, and rugby must be somewhere. I cannot mention it. So that's what we need to do, that come 2022, then they can be in all parts of the country. Priority sports codes, this is where we also prioritize that more resources could be put there, because under priority sports code, what we did here, we really looked at sports codes that are individual based, because it's very easy for Namibia to win a medal with this type of sports codes: cycling, athletics, wrestling, boxing, and Paralympics, which we know we normally bring a lot of medals. Then we got developmental sports codes. It means this is very key to any country because we need development. And also our mandate is more about sport development. So we have got plus or minus 15 of them developmental sports codes. Now these are some of the major activities that we do, and most of these activities is not only specific for us, we also actually do these specific activities with our partners. You are going to see, for example, Namibia Youth Games. Namibia Youth Games, obviously, we had our first number of national youth game in 2018. We had 10 sports codes, and we normally choose the national team under 20 that represents Namibia in the SADC Games. We also run what we call African Union Sports Council Region 5 Games, whereby we are part and parcel of the region, and the games now will take place next year. That's why we are choosing a team, that's the team that we are going to send those games. Us together with our sister partner, Namibia National Olympic Committee, we run together with the government African Games that takes place every after 4 years. We had the games last year was in Morocco, and the next 4 years again we'll have some games. Africa Youth Games, Commonwealth Games, the Olympic Games. That's why my sister is in here from the Olympic movement. We obviously support them in those type of functions because this is actually their core business. But we, as implementing against the country, we cooperate and we work together with them. And she's going to talk a little bit much about it. Namibia Annual Sport Expo, the brainchild of our former minister, Honorable Tony. We had the first inaugural Sport Expo last year, and we look forward for next year because this year we could not do it because of COVID-19. Come next year, we've got the breweries, we've got F&B, they've assured us again that they're still on board, and then from there we can make it more bigger than ever before. Namibia Annual Sports Award is an annual event where we honor our athletes. We do it every year. We had the last edition, the was 17th, the 16th edition. So this year was supposed to be the 17th edition. I think we could not host it this year. We have postponed that to be just to be able to do it next year. It's also one of the programs we do, the Sport Award. As part of the region, the SADC region, we got what we call Regional Annual Sports Award, which Namibia hosted last year very successfully. And this year, this one could not take place because of the COVID challenge, and we are part and parcel of that project. We also run this program, what we call it Tafisa, World Walking Day. It's a walking day for the entire globe. But Namibia, we started doing it this year for the first time, and it was well hosted in various regions. We chose various regions. We chose Zambezi, we chose Anguena, we chose Karas, and Kunene. We decided to go to the remote regions. And it's an annual event that will also take place in the country. Us, together with the ministry, we were supposed to start to host what we call Namibia Sports Day. And this one could not be hosted in the month of August. We look forward for next year that is a week of sport activity in the country, whereby we invite politicians. They have to talk much about the value of sport. And we look forward that come next year, us and the ministry will be able to run this type of event. We are doing very well in women leadership program in sport. We want to capacitate more women that they can also be able to take leadership position in sport industry. I think all in all, this is the end of our presentation. Thank you.
I believe actually my ED have heard you. He is a man of integrity and then a tested actually administrator. He will find a way of trying actually to convince the Ministry of Finance to believe in what sport stands for. And let's just have a belief, let's have that support behind him actually, to give him that necessary support. And the support we are talking about is not complaints, it's actually facts. We have to give case studies, actually, that can empower him to go and source for the funds. Colleagues, we have to support each other. Dr. Mathe needs this industry support. He will never succeed if you don't give him the support. He will actually, we can only succeed as a team and fail as a team. So if we don't do that, don't actually expect miracles from him. He can only succeed if we give him the necessary support. So thank you very much. And on that note, I will ask my ED to say a few words.
As you already know, I'm only in office for 5 days. Maybe not entirely 5 days, but it's almost 5 days. There's a lot of things that are going on in sport. I'm familiar with some of the challenges. The last 4 days I got to know what the teething problems are. And I think we'll find a way in which we resolve them without overcommitting ourselves. We know what to do when there are problems. But most of the time we wait until the problem is too big, and then we start getting other people involved. And the problem becomes too big to handle. There is politics in sport. So I think that's what perhaps kills the aspirations of those who want to bring change. There are very few sports schools that don't have issues. Almost every sports code has its own politics. So I think we can guard against that. What we hope to do is just to find a way in which the tripartite relationship between the sports commission, the affiliates, and the ministry needs to exist in such a manner that what is supposed to be the function of the sports commission cannot in the main be elevated to us. So the issues must be dealt with by the sports commission. They will know when the problem is too big, when the head is too big for them. Then they know what to take. This does not mean we can't talk to you directly. We definitely can. I'm just saying that there are processes which are in place already that are there to serve you. When you are not happy, you let us know, then we'll find how to resolve those. Funding is a problem, and it's going to be a problem for a very long time. Our own budget was cut by $40 million. So that has a ripple effect for everyone else that's involved in sport and youth. I was at the National Youth Service yesterday. Well, they are in a different space than him because they have a lot of commercial activities that they can do that they're not doing, which I said they can actually exploit. I would encourage you, Mr. to find a way in which you reduce your reliance on the state. The funding that we talked about for the youth games in December, that's really how we expect public enterprises to operate. And I think that will give us a great experience. What we will have to see is if sports court find sponsorship, they need to declare that to the sports commission. The sports commission need to declare that to us. So when we apportion money in the next cycle, so we don't already commit those who have sponsorship. We're supposed to giving those who are less disadvantaged. So that's the reason why we really encourage that if you get sponsorship in your own court, declare that so we know that what you have and what we are able to give you another sports court. Otherwise, you have one sport court, I found it so exorbitant, and then it's nothing. I mean, I'm involved in karate. There was 1 year we received $20,000 state subsidy per annum. 20,000 doesn't take you to the team I play. So that's what we got is a subsidy for the game. So we have to figure out now that there are sports that are benefiting a lot. To me, I think we have to look beyond 2022 to see. Let's look at other sports code. We're supposed to continue for one sport, then we neglect. Maybe there's a niche somewhere else that is not that's not karate, that is not cycling. Maybe it's something else. So we have to figure out. That's why the developmental approach perhaps works in that sense to figure out where our niche would be. So in sum, that is what we look at. On the governance side of things, we have issues in getting reports generally. Because if affiliates give reports to the Sports Commission. It makes it easier for us to get information to know what are the issues. We find bodies that are 4 years, 5 years behind in submitting their So I think we need to know. That's the only way that the government can help you if you know what the challenges are. You're supposed to only come the day the day before the problem needs to be resolved. So let's work that way. I know rugby. I'm aware of a situation where we're in the process of resolving that partially. Maybe today or Monday we'll commit ourselves in writing to resolve some of those issues. But again, let's strengthening our government systems, governance architecture. Once that's strong, then we can know when the problem when it arises. We can trigger. We can have filters. We have flashes when the problems are about heat. So that's the only way we can trigger them. I would like to encourage you, Mr. Muya, that there are sports courts that we can take outside. Most of the sports courts are based in. Mr. Katamba is here. He has infrastructure throughout the country. Let's find if you need assistance introducing sport. Maybe we can get an expert from somewhere if you don't have local. I'm looking at a situation where we have a sports foundation that is managed independently of the state and managed independently of the Sports Commission. That is sort of a trustee that will be responsible for raising funds outside government, but more from the corporate sector. So that body will then raise funds on a full-time basis, then see how we can apportion it. When I was in the broadcasting media, Germany, they have a nice way of funding media. They have an independent body. Every taxpayer, when you pay your electricity, a portion of that gets into that kitty. Then that body decides how the money is distributed to all the media houses in Germany. So we can do the same thing. We can engage the Minister of Finance. These people are getting fishing quotas. A portion of that needs to revolve into sport. 1% of, in fact, half a percentage of a profit of fishing quota, and if there are 10 of them, we can easily raise $10 million annually. That will relieve pressure on the government to be the sole funding of sports quota in the country. For a small country like ours, I think the sports are way too many. You probably find sports quota with only 5 participants. So in terms of priority, where do we get that? So we have to look at that. Do we need the sport? Do we need to fund it? Maybe we need it, but maybe not at the level of funding that is expected from the sport. So I think really that's where we need to be. As some of you have already expressed interest. I'm quite happy really to come into your silos and hear what the issues are. We can have much more longer meeting, listen to how we can resolve that. But as I've said, Mr. Katamba and other colleagues, if you have a problem, at least propose a solution to us. So we figure out what you are thinking in terms of resolving the issue. You're supposed to give us a problem, but you don't have a proposed solution. You know how difficult that is. So I think explore what your problems are. Have proposed solutions to them. Then we can see whether we can define them. Because you know the challenges better than someone from outside. So please, the meetings will probably not take next week or the week after, or even this month. But the appetite is there for us to meet as often as possible through the Sports Commission, so we get to understand how we can assist each other. The initiatives that are already undertaking, they are welcome. But some of the conditions we have to discuss with the Sports Commission first before we share them with them. So we will have to meet with the Sports Commission at some point, have some discussions, then we'll see how we can then filter to everybody else. Maybe not in individual sports, but if there are 49, that will probably take the whole game. So maybe we can have groups of 4. We can split them over a period of time. So thank you.